So this is it, last mission. I'm going to cut off a tiny bit at the end because plot, but you're not going to miss anything important gameplay-wise. This map is divided into two sections, the left side, which we'll have to deal with immediately, and the right side, which we can take our leisurely time on. This struck barrier divides the two, fields prevent particles from drifting over, and the doppels stick to their side of the fence. Unlike previous maps, losing the HQ is an instant fail, which creates a few complications. We're deploying here, taking these energy mines, grabbing as much scrap as I can hold, and spewing out warships. These emitters are dangerous, but they're a problem for later. These particle cannons are going to be a problem now, especially due to the HQ instant fail. This makes grabbers, the hammer, and lathes first priority. I need to Omnistorm. The grabbers get me benign particle to help, and the hammer will absorb repeater cannon fire while I lathe or Omni the island. This island first, this second for energy, then this third. I'll probably take a few particle cannon shots while I'm getting there. After that, standard formation tactics to eliminate the emitters. I'll punch through the struck wall here because I have the best energy range, then eliminate the upper enemy structures. These two emitters create a barrier to clearing this struck here. They'll need to go along with this struck builder here. The lower structures are less important. I should have enough firepower to hold them off. There's 5 amp gems on the map, plus my 10, which means I can go nuts on research. We'll deploy at this first energy mine, then immediately run down to grab the other one, and then come right back up for the scrap. Deploy Omnis. That upper one's probably going to die. Yep, there he goes. I'll come up and Omni it later. My locations for where I can build ships is a little bit limited due to those repeater cannons, so everything's going to be built really tight in. I know I said grabbers first, but we're going to wait a tiny bit longer on the grabbers because I can use emitter control to get what I need out of this benign emitter here. As soon as I got the hammer and the lathes, we're going to run down and we're going to hit this particle cannon. I can hit that particle cannon from the side, so we're going to do that. I'm going to Omnistorm the island eventually anyway, but I don't have to in order to take out the particle cannon. Therefore we'll lathe it from offshore as soon as we can. But since I'm going to need the Omnis, I'd really like that hammer to be built now. How long do I have on the stunners? 2 minutes. Can't be too careful though. Might forget later, so now is a good time to build them. Can I successfully move the lathes up there without them getting shot? Maybe. Unfortunately, it's the waiting game now, waiting for the hammer to be done. You know, maybe I can get that repeater cannon to expend some of its ammo first. We'll set the emergent rally point where all the enemy emergent is. Help clear some of that out. Hammer's done enough. So get him right in there. Send these two around the side. And send the Marauder for cover. Right. Don't send them in first because the hammer is slow. Draw fire, then send them in. I need the Marauder to cover up north, or I'd send him in to cover from particle, which just means I need cruisers. Peter Cannon is dead. Mr. Marauder. Oh, have an amp gem. Speaking of amp gems, there's this big bundle down here. Command vessel's now done doing what he was doing. Oh, just a few too many particles. Command HQ's now done doing what he was doing, so he's going to fly down there. Let's hope this lathe lasts long enough. I need to go cover him. I really need that particle cannon dead. Toast. Take out that Mire producer, storm the island. You know, while I'm down here, might as well take that energy mine too. Although priority is still those particle cannons. So let's go hit the northern island. HQ's still doing fine. Keep building ships. Northern Island's not necessary from a destroy the enemy's ability to kill you perspective, but it is necessary from a have the energy range perspective. I can take out that Mire spawner with lathes, so I think I'll redirect the lathes as soon as that's dead. Take out the Mire spawners, which will make Omni storming that island a whole lot easier. What I'm doing here is moving the lathes so he's got a firing spot on that Mire producer, but moving the hammer so the energy mine shoots him instead. All done down here? Not quite. Get down there to cover him. One more to go. Stick the amp gem in you. Will that give you the range to take out that mine? Yes, it will. With the enemy Mire producer dead, should be able to storm that island a whole lot easier. Here come the stunners. Right on time. I'm sucking up a ton of power right now, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I keep building more ships. Although, now that that grabber's in place, let's get him targeting that center island. Fall you back a little. Fall you back a lot. I'm bringing both the lathes up here because I want to take out that repeater cannon and then take out the particle cannon behind him. To do that, though, I think I'm going to need... yeah, I'm going to need a tanker. So I need it to not delay on the tanker because it's what's going to get me a push forward on a lot of these positions. If I keep that friendly particle stream flowing, can I get a lathe in there? The answer is yes, partially because the repeater cannon is now recharging. Command HQ is still fine. There goes the repeater cannon. Now I just need you, so I can take out that particle cannon. Taking out the particle cannon a little earlier would have saved me a shot, but it wasn't that bad. He nicked the Command HQ. I hear in a patch that it's supposed to modify it so those can no longer instantly kill the Command HQ, which would be nice, especially on this mission. I've mired up this island. Omnis have lathes. End result, use Omnis to take that mine. Let's get the rest of my Omnis into a little bundle and get ready to siege that last island. And you guys are now turrets. So at this point, the assault's gone well. In the interest of not having to play the beginning part of this mission again, we're going to save. And we'll probably save a few more times throughout this mission. I'm falling behind on shipbuilding, so I should really keep track of that. There's a whole bunch of particle between my Omnis and that island, so I'm going to take some of it out and reorganize a little. So Command Vessel, I don't need you doing anything. Marauder, scoot up a little. C-Class, scoot up a little. Two of you are going to hold everything off down here while I set up for this northern section here. Regroup the Omnis. As soon as I'm making some progress on that island, I'm also going to hit this upper emitter. Got friendly particle coming in, so now it's time to Omnistorm. Hopefully, I can make enough progress that those rear Omnis will stay alive. Maybe. Not quite. We made some progress, though. Looks like that rear guy is still intact. No, it's not enough. That is a tough island. If I have to take out that Meyer spawner, I will. There's a couple of ways I can do that. One of them being Omnistorm really close to him. That many Omnis should be able to kill him before they're destroyed. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. Move everyone up nice and tight. And send in the clowns. And there we go. Now lift them all off. That's a special kind of Omnistorm right there. The key to these games is always overwhelming firepower. Let's start thinking about this upper emitter again. Got my additional warships. Got a few more things I can build. Hey look, I got this thing I should really be capturing up here. Paying attention. Looks like I've got that island. I think I'm going to need more firepower up north. Good thing I've got more firepower. There we go, push up a bit. A bunch of that particle is now going to waste itself against that island, hopefully. Just got to keep an eye on him, make sure he stays healthy, and I've got it. No, he is not staying healthy at all. We're going to ram the cruisers right into that, so I lose the cruisers, I destroy. So the reason I ram the cruisers straight into that, I can rebuild cruisers. He can't rebuild emitters. All I needed to do was keep the lathes alive a little bit longer. And it worked. This upper one is destroyed. It's time to start thinking about the middle one. The middle one is nasty. You can see it's just spewing out particle. So I'm not going to worry too much about defending that energy mine there. I'm going to do the same thing I did with that lower energy mine, where I just leave a couple of Omnis nearby. Leave one cruiser up here for stragglers. I'll fly everyone else down here and start setting up to take out that guy. We're going to build a formation where the C-class is, and we're going to make use of this friendly particle. Get everybody organized to some extent. Let's send the more useless ones down there. Why are you not grabbing that? It's okay. It's just a giant Mark 17 ship covered in weapons. I don't need it. It would be super useful right now, actually. Let's start building the wall. There we are. Giant ship covered in artillery. You get an amp gem, and you get an amp gem. You get your fighters in there. And now we push forward nice and slow. Use the hammer to attack with my face. Wipe out a lot of this particle so I can push the rest of the fleet forward. Because he's not doing a whole lot of good if the particle can't actually make it to him. His weapon is his face. You may notice I'm keeping the wolf sideways. His weapons are mounted sideways. This gets me the most weapons as close as possible to the enemy. Things are starting to get a little rougher here. The closer you get to an emitter, the more dangerous it becomes. So the closer you get to an emitter, the more dangerous it becomes. Not because it fires faster or anything else like that, although maybe in some of these maps they're scripting for that, but because less of the particle is just sprayed randomly around, and it instead attracts to your ships. So there's just a larger percentage of it coming at you. That hammer is currently out of range. Remember that charging straight into particle means it hits you faster, which means charging it increases its DPS. Increased DPS means you can't counter it as effectively. So moving up slowly like this means I only hit a little bit of it at a time. I lower its DPS. Where's my other tanker? There he is. He should get up here. There's the Varro. Let's get the Varro up here. Like, notice now I'm not keeping the particle as far back as I was before. It's just sneaking a little closer to me every time I sneak a little closer to him. Where's my second grabber? Oh, hey, a micro tank. Go do something. Making very slow progress. Attack with your face. At this point, I might think about hitting it. Just want to get a little bit more particle first. Get a little bit closer. We're going to rearrange this backfield a little bit. Get the C-class out where he can do even more good. He's a gunship, so he should be in a gunship position. He shouldn't be in the support vessel position. Opening up a hole in the middle so I can get the lathes in there. Turn that way. We're out of range again. I'm not so sure I like that. Yeah, I need him just a little bit closer. I'm not sure how much more this hammer can take. I had him outside of energy range for a little bit, which was really, really bad for his hull. I think I've got it. Yep, and I think the hammer is even going to live through this one. There we go. So moving ahead slow is what accomplished that. I didn't let the particle overwhelm me, and I didn't effectively increase its damage by charging at it quickly, therefore increasing its DPS, therefore decreasing the effectiveness of my defensive fire and armor regeneration. So time to do the exact same thing to this lower one. This guy doesn't look like he's as nasty, which is good. Build the formation. Advance slow. One reason I'm keeping the C-Class a little bit in the rear for the opening is I don't need the extra width, I don't need him out on the flank, and he is a little fragile. Once the shield goes down, there's really not a lot between... There's just as much armor, etc. on a C-Class between the front and the command core as there is on a cruiser, which is not a lot. A Marauder's got a little bit of extra nose, a little bit extra guns in there. You know, while I'm here, while I'm not using this benign particle, I'm going to use it instead to help me breach this struck wall. You can see between the fact that this is not as nasty an emitter and there's only one of them. Taking this guy out is proving a whole lot easier than taking that middle one out. Drifted outside of range again. Done down here. Alright, time to start thinking about that second half. I want to breach through about here. From there, I'm going to take out a few things up here. The Death Star, that emitter, that stunner. Probably want to take out both stunners. This thing, which sprays out big clusters of particle, I might deal with that emitter up there, or I might not. To accomplish that, we're going to need a few things to clear out this struck. And while they're doing that, we'll move the rest of the fleet. The easy way.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way.
And watch, my silly method of moving is going to put somebody straight through, like that C-Class, straight through a whole bunch of struck, and I'm going to have to rebuild the C-Class. Okay, Hammer, where'd you go? Oh, I didn't mean to move you. A teeny bit of struck between me and the enemy. The struck's not what's holding its back, so I might as well just clear the whole thing. I'm making some room with the hammer before I start moving the Warfleet in, just so I have room to organize. Before I have to deal with the Death Star, why don't I fire some Emergent at it and see what happens? The hammer is by far the fastest way to kill Struck, which is why we're doing this with his nose. I want to make a lot of space. More for my own comfort than anything else. It'll just give me a whole lot more room to maneuver in. Yeah, that's a lot of room to maneuver in. Let's do it. Let's get everyone organized. Hammer up front. Build the flanks. At this point, I am going to use the C-Class as a front ship, because I want to cover a fair amount of territory. Which means the hammer's not... I mean, the hammer's just a plug in the wall. My front is so wide that it's not going to be absorbing the majority of the firepower. If I can get the space, Navarro will also sort of benefit from being sideways. Although his guns have such a long range, it's not as important. Alright, push it up. Focusing most of my firepower over on that side because that's the side that is closest to the Doom Shuriken. Do I want to die? Hammer. Now I am focusing the hammer in the front because of the Doom Shuriken. This thing's just starting to get kind of bad over here. So I'm keeping an eye on all that enemy fire. Good.
That was easy.
Let's redirect. Move the lathes in as quickly as possible. I don't want that thing coming back. So as you may notice, these squares of particles aren't coming out to meet me. They're just making really nasty boxes that I'm going to have to destroy or interrupt before I can drive the flagship in there. Moving up to take out these couple last nasty things over here, I might as well. They're going to cost me a little bit of time, but I'm not going to have to worry about them for the rest of the map, which is nice. Of course, if I had a discharger over here, then when that thing fires in 6 seconds, I could do something about it. Take out this emitter. I'm starting to run low on juice in the tankers, so as soon as I take out this upper section, the next part of my plan is going to be to move back into energy range, recharge everybody, and then come back for that lower section. Good, they still have, do not still have energy range. So I need an amp gem. What do I not need? Don't really need defensive struck anymore. That probably gives me the range I need. That's going to be really bad. I'm going to lose those ships. That is really bad. There goes my tankers. There goes all my energy. Let's see if I can take this thing out. If the lathes run out of juice, we'll fall back. Good, toast. Get everyone back.
The easy way.
Who's not moving? Someone else is there. Recharge everybody. We'll go for that double spawner in a minute. Okay, tankers charged enough. So, doppel spawner time. Build the formation. Moving the micro tanker up here so I can destroy that struck producer. Which reminds me, I don't need the emergent up here anymore. You know, I was thinking the easiest way to hit this emitter here would be to come at it from below, which means I need to destroy the Death Star. But I can probably block this stream of particle and hit it from above, except I'm still probably going to be in range of the Death Star at that point. So it's probably just a better idea to take out the Death Star. Everybody back into energy range. Fuel them back up. Where's the hammer? Clear some more struck. Just make my life a little easier. You'll notice I'm not backing over the struck except with the edge of the nose. I learned my lesson. You know, now's a good time to save. Everything's been going great. Alright, let's deal with those stunners coming in, and then we'll go build the formation. Range goes out to there. I'm going to set everybody up. I'm going to move them down so I don't hit that particle box. Then I'm going to move them in from the left of the Death Shuriken. Feeling a little cramped here. I feel like I should have cleared out a little more struck. Let's not move up quite yet, actually. There's that nasty blob of particle moving in. Okay, there he goes. Mark 17s are what are most effective against these enemy ships, just like the enemy doppels. So they're the ones I'm worried about getting the best position on. Drove that cruiser in a little fast and a little close, but fortunately I had time to recover. There we go. Overwhelming firepower is necessary because of how quickly they regenerate. Lathe time. And I've drifted out of range again. Or am I just out of power? I've drifted out of range. I need the micro-tanker. That. Like I said, I'm not too worried about these last couple objects down here, the blob spawner there or the emitter there, but I do think I want to deal with this stunner, because stunners are important. You know, I'm down here. I might as well. Need to free up amp gem somewhere. Although I probably could have pulled it from something like Omni cannons. In fact, let's do that. Omnis aren't really doing me any good right now, and it'll let me greatly increase my range. But Coog, why are you sending the hammer up there? Because he's going to be doing most of the struck work once I'm up there. Get more range if I'd built off of here, but I didn't feel like destroying a lot of that struck wall. At this point, the stuff I really want dead is dead, so at this point it's just time to clear out all that struck and finish off this mission. Accidentally just moved the tankers. Oh well. It is hammer time. That corporate HQ's been hiding in the back for so long. Time for him to get up here and do his job. Now that everything I need to be in one place is in one place, we'll move the warships down here to cover all that particle. And you know, I could take out all the struck on the sides. I don't need to. I just need to clear down the middle. Just to be safe, though, I should probably clear a bit wider trench. You never know when I'm going to misalign my command vessel. And there we go. And that's it. That's all you get to see. Plot just happened. What was that plot? You'll have to play the game yourself and find out. So you saw some good examples of omnistorming at the beginning, hitting each of those islands. You also saw the importance of hitting things quickly. Those islands were poorly defended, and those particle beams got almost no shots off. The second half, I moved a little bit slower than I needed to. Heck, I probably could have left emitters and blob emitters on both sides fully intact, even the stunners, and just hit that middle island and save myself 5 minutes. But I'd rather not have to deal with them. You saw how important a tight ship formation is. I managed to eliminate some of those tougher emitters, whereas if I had charged in a little faster or not kept my ships in such a well-organized formation where I could bring as many weapons to bear forward, I would have lost a lot more vessels.